my, there they are, live from the Top 100 Studios.
Yeah.
In sunny San Diego, California. On the Air is On the Air with Little Tommy, Rusty Nailz, and Sully, and the Sully Band. Let's let it ring out for a while. Do you know who we don't hear from anymore? Nacho, give us something. Give us a little something.
You look goody, and the Sully Band man, they look goody. And dressing the back, in the face. I'm the senate and make him the bass. Barking at the back, kick him the keys. I'm on the front man, giving you the lyrics. James in on the back, the man's to the Rusty Nail. I'm the front with the big suit, big suit, big suit, big suit.
Wow! I like that.
I love that.
We don't hear enough from you. It's time for you to get. We need to get you back on.
You know, there's another chance to hear Nacho, by the way. Tomorrow, Sunday at Monarch, 3:30 till sunset. Nacho and I out there rocking it. So,
Do you pay me a royalty for using my guys on your act?
I do. I tell them to give you that $150,000 every year, so we're good.
Hey, great to see you.
Great to see you guys.
Last week in September, moving into. In fact, did you catch the first day of fall this year?
Did I?
96 degrees.
No, 100.
Was it
El
really?
Cajon.
Oh my goodness! I'm just talking about what I mean. This San Diego downtown was 96 degrees, and I'm sure Lakeside and those things.
It goes from cloudy to sunny now, too, by the way. All summer it's been like
Do you know
cloudy.
who I ran into? Speaking of hot, I was in Poway. It was super hot. I ran into Steve Voss, Mayor Voss,
Mayor Voss.
and his son.
You're tied to him.
I'm tied to him because, well, not me. We are executive producers. I think that's what we get to be called.
I think that's
for
the title.
Scuba the movie. I'm not going to have just us. I want all of us. You know,
We'll put
right?
it up. Yeah.
Hey.
Why not?
Because we were all big part of it. Some bigger
Well,
than others.
we raised. I think we are responsible
Yes.
for raising close to 20 grand on this.
I think so, because you doubled the money.
We
people
matched
put
it.
on, yeah. And
So-
in fact, scubathemovie.com, you can still contribute. I don't think you want to start matching today, but you can still contribute. They're in editing, which is a time toilet. If you know anything about editing video, it's going to be months. First of the year is when it's due out.
Are you done shooting that movie?
Oh, God,
Because we got you a part in this deal.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Because I leaned into the camera
You know, it would,
softly.
you know, it would be so cool
Yeah.
if you had a sneak peek, like a little.
Do we have any
little
clips?
Hold on, let me check the
footage.
internet. Yep, it's already loaded in now.
All right.
Here, I just did
So
it.
this is Scuba the movie.
Scuba the movie. I am the vice principal. And
Directed
in
by
the
Jacob
room-
Voss.
Jacob Voss.
Okay.
In the room with me is my son. His head is down. The other gentleman stole my son's girlfriend, and I'm lecturing all of them about the world they live in, and
So clearly not typecasting.
clearly not. So let's go ahead and roll that fabulous A-roll is what we like to call it.
Oh, I
Straight
see.
from the movie.
Here we go. Right
Ladies
from
and
Scuba the movie.
Nobody's feelings really matter in a universe that is just unreal, man. It's an unconventional place.
That's it. That's all you get today. because
Wait,
everything takes-
wait.
That's all you need.
Okay,
It's
play
really
it
all you
again.
need.
No, play it again.
I can't get.
No,
you
I
know.
was wiping something off my shirt.
Oh,
I missed
yeah.
your part.
That's true.
I mean, is that the whole part?
I blinked and missed it.
Okay, what percentage of your part is that? Like, is that like 10% of your whole deal?
Oh, 2%. That's just a chunk.
That's still super lame. We need you more in the movie.
I'm going to be in there, baby. Let's do it again because it
Can
was
we just
so fun
roll
the
one
first
more
time.
time?
Here we
Let's
go.
Don't
Listen.
blink. Don't blink.
Don't blink.
Go on, quick.
Ready?
Nobody's feelings really matter in a universe that is just unreal, man. It's an unconventional place.
And I go on to talk
Okay, dude,
like I did.
Okay, if we timed it,
Yeah.
you went. I'm going to call it what? 1.5 seconds?
1.5 seconds.
2 seconds?
Sometimes that's all you need.
So 2 seconds is 2% of. Hold on a minute.
you
here.
remember this?
I'm the numbers guy.
Who can tell me what movie this is from? Who rang that bell?
Godfather. Godfather.
Wizard of Oz, for Christ's sake. You don't remember the guy who rang that bell? Oh, gee.
Was that you in the Who Rang That Bell?
Me too. You recognize the back of my head from the...
Tommy, will you please get the show started?
All right.
We've
Let's
wasted
bring in our
We've
guest.
wasted a total of 4 seconds.
Well, I was only 2 seconds of it, so bite me.
Our very first guest. He's a long-time San Diego radio star, born and raised in Escondido, California. From Jesse and Tati in the morning on Star 94.1, ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Lozano.
hey. Friends!
Look at him.
The
Hi,
heir
Sully
apparent.
Band. They're the real stars. I watch them online, Sully.
Do you guys know how much he gives his love? Okay, he is the heir apparent to Ryan Seacrest, Ryan Reynolds,
Any Ryan.
Ryan Gosling, any Ryan. No, he is. You're the heir
love that.
apparent to Ryan. But do you realize how much love he gives us on the air? I mean, he's got a huge audience.
Well, here's what I know. Parents want to go to stuff with their kids, and anything that can play for the older audience or the younger audience, wins, and that's what your band does. You guys can, I mean, wherever you're performing, anyone can show up.
Yeah.
Anyone can have a good time. Everyone's dancing, and that's the same thing we do on Star. We're here for everybody.
No,
you know?
please. Tell me more.
Come on.
Tell you more.
Do you know what we were thinking? No, on that subject, tell me, do you know what we were thinking? You know, every college in this country has a parents' weekend, and parents don't want to go, and kids don't want their parents to come.
Right.
We were thinking about doing a parent trap tour, to where we go to every college to give the parents something to do.
Do you want to go with me? I'm going to Parents Weekend at University of Arizona
Done.
in 3 weeks.
We're done.
Nice.
We are booked.
This is what is ahead of me at that. My daughter has already asked me if I've ever had, Dad, do you know what a keg stand is? I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, I need to know because, you know, there may be some events here for Family Weekend and you may have to do a keg stand. And I just thought,
Better you than her. I'm
but I mean, I'm embarrassed doing that in front of my friends, doing that in a bunch of 18-year-old guys who are going to make fun of me. I can't
I'd like to
imagine.
see the father a beer bong off or something
Yeah,
like that.
yes.
The mother's wet teeth, maybe not. Maybe I picked a bad subject. Huh? Oh, we got to get that in
But wait
editing
a minute.
too? Oh, jeez.
Wait a minute. That little 5-year-old daughter of yours?
Yes.
She's in college?
Smart. Second year. I just moved her into a sorority house. It was the weirdest thing ever. Ever.
Isn't that interesting? You know, people ask, so I've got 2 daughters.
Okay.
You've got a granddaughter. You've got 2 daughters. People ask, how do you do it? Because when they're 7, it's like, you're no way. There's nobody's getting near you. I'm putting a shotgun and a pair of size 15 boots out in the front, maybe spread a little blood on the doorknob, like stay away.
Yeah.
And then it's just weird how little by little they chip away at you.
Oh, yeah.
And then next thing you know, they're going to senior prom on a bus with a bunch of 17-year-olds. And I remember 17, right?
Oh,
And then
yeah.
little by little, then you're taking them to college, and pretty soon, okay, this is the first time in my life I've not talked to her all day.
Yes.
And they just chip away.
They do, and you know, there's something about that time in their lives where, as a dad, you really are like turning a corner, like, okay, high school, I am going to have to get the shotgun, just like you said. However, my daughter starts high school. It took her 3 weeks, and I'm listening to her talk to the boys that she's meeting on the phone, and I started realizing, oh no, I feel bad for the boys.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't need protection.
No.
She can not only handle herself, I actually feel a little bit sad for these poor boys that are gonna have to deal with her because she knows what she wants. I mean, I used to have to tell her, like, hey, I used to peek into her room after listening to her and her boyfriend talk or whatever, and I would say, hey, you know, like, you want your guy to stick around for a while. You don't want to like talk to him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was literally listening to their conversations and feeling like I needed to stick up for them and not her. And that was not how I was raised as a dad. It was always, oh, you're going to get it. When she's in high school, it's going to be trouble.
And wait for the wedding day.
I know.
That's a big check.
Mine was my daughter's wedding 2 weeks before COVID hit, and I'm thinking, we could have Zoomed this 2 weeks ago. I'd be 20 grand richer if we could have just Zoomed this thing.
Being the father of daughters, you realize,
yeah.
had I known then what I know now, I would have had a great time at college.
No, 100%. Yeah, I think that having a daughter was great, a great education in understanding women in general and how much farther ahead women are than us guys.
Because we are generally insecure males from the ages of what, 15 until 22.
Yeah.
And what you realize is they don't have it all together. They have it way more together.
Way more.
I wish I would have known that.
Daughters are the best.
All right, who do we got? Who else we got here coming up?
agree.
Here?
All right. She is an American ballroom dance champion.
Wow.
She's everyone's favorite judge on So You Think You Can Dance. We're hoping to get on the hot tamale train from Lancaster, Ohio, Mary Murphy.
Wow.
Mary Murphy.
I'm such a huge fan. Wow. We have like a real celebrity in here. Not that you're not a real celebrity. So we like, when's the last time like a real
I'm a
celebrity?
JV celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Like he doesn't fly coach, he flies assistant coach. Thank you, everybody. No, like she's like you're like a real like NBC, ABC, CBS network, Fox, the whole deal. Real celebrity. I'm
And a San Diegan.
And a San Diegan.
I met her at opening day at the races.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
I was wondering what,
So
I
what's
lost my shoes there.
Wow.
Let's not get into that.
Say no more.
so you're a small town girl from Ohio.
That's right.
How'd you get to become a big
OH10.
star?
I'm a big Buckeye.
Yeah.
How did you become a big star?
Well, I still wouldn't consider myself a big star, but I had, you know how they say, dream it and you'll get there. Well, I never really dreamed it. You know, I was from a super small town. It was more like Footloose there. And a lot of religion, a lot of football, baseball, and basketball, and that was about it.
Northwest High School.
Northwest High School. And I did everything I could possibly that was open to me that I was allowed to do.
Yeah.
So there were things that I wasn't allowed to do. I played drums with my brothers. I have 3 brothers, and I was the 4th boy. We were all track runners. We all played the drums, so not those kind of drums, but in the drum section until they said in high school I wasn't allowed to do that anymore.
What?
No more drumming for the girls.
No drumming for the girls, and so I switched instruments, and then I started playing the bassoon. Of all
Naturally.
things.
As former drummer.
Everybody plays that instrument. It's
Segue
really
right
a
into
good.
April, do you play bassoon?
The bassoon.
I play clarinet, but woodwinds.
Yes, that's right.
Has anybody ever done this? Woodwinds.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that in the history of the world. Hey, you know what?
But we did.
Woodwinds. Oh my God.
Crossword puzzle.
Double rings. No.
Parcheesi.
Hey, dude.
No kidding. So how do you take? Well, you've never
So
had a group?
anyways, I wanted to be a track runner. I went to Ohio University to run track, and that, I hurt my knee, and that didn't work out. And
How fast were you?
I started dance. I was pretty good. I was a 400-meter racer, and
Wow.
That's
Here's
where
a
you have to
question.
have endurance, right?
Yeah.
yeah. So
Here's a question. Here's a question no one's ever asked you. When did you make the leap from bassoon to dancing?
Yeah. Because it's a natural progression.
Well, only the greatest dancers play the bassoon.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. It's written in stone.
So you go to D.C., right?
So I went to Washington, D.C., and I started dancing at Ohio University in modern dance and really got interested in that, but still was going to be a physical education teacher. It was really when I went to Washington and walked into a dance studio for a summer job, and I didn't really like it. Wasn't very inspirational, not any really good dancers, and they could see that I was going to quit. And so the manager said, you need to see something. You need to see the United States Ballroom Championships. They were held at the Waldorf in New York.
Oh, yeah.
So they took me up there, and it was like a movie. These big double doors opened. I walked in 10 feet into the room, and there was like 25, 30 couples swooping and everything I'm not. I was such a boy, and these people had massive makeup, hairdos that were like hard
about
as
the women?
rocks. I know, right?
just
You
saying.
can go in that outside with that hairdo with the hurricane going on.
Moving.
Glitter, rhinestones, feathers, this, that. Anyways.
Liberace was it?
Yes.
All right, good.
And he was playing the piano, and I was, filling in on bassoon.
Yeah.
So we were having a good time, and then I just happened to notice the dancing, and then said, "That's it." Changed my life. I looked up at the people that brought me. I said, I'm going to be the United States champion, and I'm going to be a professional ballroom dancer. They looked down at me, and they were saying, geez, we were just hoping you'd stay in our studio.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that we have a mutual friend that you coach, I believe. In fact, she's been on the show with us before. Marty Gellens is a real estate expert. Her mother, Maxine Gellens, who we've referred to a lot, is a ballroom dancer under your tutelage.
That's right.
And listen, they drugged me into one of those things recently. Like, talk about a fish out of water.
You?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got to see this.
There wasn't even a bar. So,
Yeah, people think like the first time back to the gym in a while is like brutal. No. The first time you try that, physically, it is so hard. It's so brutal. I did the same thing. years ago.
I watched, I couldn't believe, first of all, you've got people at all ages. All shapes, by the way.
3 years old to 90.
So that was really impressive. So that's a whole industry in and of itself,
Yeah.
that business.
She's an amazing woman. I mean, she'll tell you her age. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, she will.
She's 83,
Yeah.
and she takes 3 sessions, Monday through Friday, goes around to different competitions around the country. She's such an inspiration for all of our dancers, and even the youngest kids, they'll sit there, and when she dances, they all gather around and they applaud her. Because, they see their grandma sitting at home not doing a single thing, and here's this woman, ravenous red hair, in good shape, and she's dancing up a storm, and she's killing it.
I bet the kids go nuts when
she's a mentor to me.
When
My
she does
God.
the worm, that's got to, huh?
Yeah, there's none of that.
Don't underestimate her worm, I'm telling you.
But the deal is, the way they judge this thing is they're on there for a while, then they go off. But when they're on there, they're not just them. it is like they got to dodge the other people. I mean, there's a whole thing to learn about that.
That's
It's
another
pretty
side
impressive.
of the brain. Ballroom dancing affects 5 out of the 6 areas of the brain, and it's at the top of the list in the Alzheimer's Society as well because of that. And navigation is another part of your brain that they have to think about while they're trying to think about what they're doing with their feet.
Like
and
a marching
leading.
band.
Yeah, kind of, but you have to have another person on the other end of your hands that you have to navigate through traffic. Yeah.
See, now I know what
There's always one that goes the other way. You know what I'm talking about?
I think square dancers are just as talented as ballroom, but they need the Siri map going off the whole time. Couples in the middle with the right and left, constant instructions. Turn around now, leave her alone. Walk away 40 feet and come back and circle to the left and get over there.
Wrong way!
Wrong way, idiot. Let's loosen up the bolo knucklehead.
Wait.
You know that they have round dancing, which is like square dancing. For ballroom, it's a whole nother subculture that I didn't even know about for many years until a couple came to me for choreography. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, yeah, it's all written out on a paper, and we call it like square dancing, and everybody does ballroom dancing in a circle, and it's clubs all over the world, and that's all they do. They're a separate society. They don't usually mix with the general ballroom society. They have their own thing out there.
And that's an in-your-face.
It's like the biker gang of ballroom dancing,
That's right.
And the
they
name of
have
it,
branched off, and they got their thing.
And it's
they,
round, not square. So
They only do it in the round. That's correct.
So
Never
you're
a
at
square.
So you're at a wedding reception and you're dancing. Now, does everyone just stop and just say, okay, let's watch Mary? I mean, seriously, like.
My boyfriend doesn't ballroom dance, so that's never going to be the case.
But I mean, you must.
He's game for getting up and, just kind of having fun.
Does he stand there like a maypole and you just start swinging around him? One finger in the air. Go ahead, Dave.
I just use and abuse him. No, I do not. No.
You know,
he's a very good social dancer.
Our chief marketing officer and the band manager and else, Mary Burt Godwin, has 2 daughters that are crazy. Like you see them on social media all the time. And I didn't realize this is all part of the same culture, right? So so there's, when our kids played soccer or volleyball or whatever, there's also this subculture in the same commitment level. 5 days a week, whatever. We got to talk about that because
Sometimes more. I mean, this is the jazz, ballet, hip-hop world now. Most of those dancers have come under one roof. There's a lot of studios now that have added ballroom to that group, but they have a massive, there must be, gosh, every single weekend, there's probably at least 25 dance conventions going on inside of the United States.
I have to get in that business.
It's more, just the ballroom conventions are more than $1 billion industry.
Wow.
And then you take your jazz, ballet, and, and these kids are doing some of them 7 days a week.
Wow. All right. We got a lot more coming. Fantastic.
The Oscars.
That's a good little rhythm.
Can you
Like,
can you name it? Wow. All right. On the air is on the air. Much more to come. Exciting show today. Can't wait. Stand by. I think they're better without me. Were you on the radio when that was on?
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a different.
91X or
David
something like
Bowie, yeah.
1980.
Was that 1980?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were there.
Post-disco.
Russ was big in the 80s.
Now I'm big and I'm 80. Thank you very
Everybody.
much.
Everybody.
You know what? If you are right, they are better just as a band, but they'd have to change the name without you. I think that would really look stupid.
I think you still call it the Sully Band.
Yeah, and then just never come
I'm
up.
way better without me up there.
All right. So as we knew Mary Murphy was going to be here, I looked her up and I was just like studying her. And is it true?
It's called stalking, Tommy.
Is it true?
Studying back in the 70s.
Is it true, Mary? Is it true you were Julia Roberts' body double?
It is true.
What?
1994, I used to look exactly like her from behind.
I've heard this story. story.
Why did they not want to show her behind them?
Yeah.
What was that? Why did they need a
heard this
double?
story on your show before.
Really?
I heard the story about how Julia Roberts said she had a behind double.
And I'm just a non-believer. If you could stand up, please.
No, please
Turn away.
I'll deal with that.
Start walking.
But you were.
That gave me a lot of mileage when I was dating back in those days. I was like, I'm Julia Roberts' body double.
You can put that on your Tinder profile now and get all the swipes. That would be the best headline ever.
I'm going to wear a T-shirt with that on.
You should have like a, not Julia Roberts' body double. Julia Roberts' body double.
Before and after. No.
I'm sure she stayed in much better shape than I have.
Jesse,
Tommy.
Great.
your audience specifically
Yeah.
is right up the alley of what she's involved with.
Right.
Because look, I can tell you the talk radio audience, no, probably.
Right.
But you
No.
did you ever interview her before?
I did. We, back in the day when we were allowed to go to big radio conventions and go to Vegas for the Radio Music Awards or whatever, we would get in this big conference room and you would have 60 radio stations, each with a 6-foot table, couple of mics on each table, and the celebrities would be ushered in and they would go table to table to table to table.
I'm sure maybe it was American Idol
It was,
finale.
yes, it might have been the Idol finale.
That's the biggest radio room I've ever seen in my life.
And I mean, I just bumped into you right now, and I had to remind you that we interviewed only because how would you remember anyone that you interview when you do 100 interviews in a day like that? You know,
Exactly.
it really is kind of crazy.
They
how
have
it
like the
works.
sheets of all the celebrities coming in, and
They have a binder like flipping through like
a
Paris
lot
Hilton's
of
coming,
them
Paris
have
Hilton.
no idea who you are, and you sit down and somebody looks up at me. So how do you like being on Dancing with the Stars? And I'm like, well, I really love Dancing with the Stars, but I'm on So You Think You Can Dance.
But don't you try, like when you're interviewing a celebrity.
Yeah.
I try to come up with a question that nobody else is asking.
Yes, of course.
Like I always do, like, so how much money's in your pocket? How much cash you got? Like because you get the same questions all the time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem, and the thing is,
Really
as a
hard
listener,
in those lineups.
well, as a listener, you
Down
know,
the
and you know, and you know. As a listener, you can always tell when the radio personality has not prepared questions.
Oh, correct.
Like
yeah.
you can hear, like, dude, write down 3 and hope you don't get to the next 2.
I'm not in radio anymore.
No, you know the one that always worked for me, if I was talking with someone who had a child, I would always say, do you ever have any Lonely Parents Club moments? And what I mean is, you're a big celebrity. We all know that, but your kids sometimes don't recognize that.
Right.
So my daughter came home from school one time and told me that I was in the top 20 of coolest dads in her school. And I thought, top 20?
25
I
kids
can't
in the
crack the
class.
top 5? Like, who's at your school? And I was just, my heart was broken, but she hits me with that all the time. And so I would ask, Mary, do you have any of those stories? And usually a celebrity is like, okay, I haven't really thought about that. Yeah, and they have something fun that's super relatable and like normal human being, just being a parent stuff. That was my go-to.
Yeah.
And did you do the usual radio thing, like every 2 months you check to see if you've moved up to like 18th best father?
Yeah.
Maybe I brought donuts.
By then,
we're used to
I'm going to be in the top 5.
I brought donuts.
What do I got to do?
I just can't imagine how that conversation went. I just think about it all the time. Like, when did they do that? At lunch? When was the ranking system put together? Like, when was that?
Jesse's pulling a 2-share in his
Probably
kid's school.
teachers are
Russ is
ranking
pulling a 6-share. What's the deal?
I don't want to talk some smack, but I know I moved up on the list because Mike McCoy was on the list as at that point, the current Chargers coach. That ended, so I mean, that had to have moved me up, right? At
By
least
default,
one.
you're at least 19.
At least.
Top 20 most popular dad. Jesse.
Hey, speaking of Jesse and Tati on Star 94.1, I think I read somewhere you're doing something on Wednesday, December 8th. What are you doing on Wednesday, December 8th?
Oh, I know what this is.
Little Tommy's breaking and entering, friends. You haven't brought this up on the show yet?
No.
Only every day. And did you know he's a Hall of Fame producer?
Do you have a trophy for that? Is there any?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, let's bring it
Here
out.
it comes.
No, there it is. Hall of Fame.
That's the one with the typo.
Yeah.
Is that-
Hall of Fame.
I'll tell you what. I can't even imagine how long ago it was that you came up with this idea, buddy. But thank you for coming.
1996.
Okay, gotcha. I don't want.
Hey, for those of us like my parents who watch this religiously, what is breaking?
You know what? A long time ago when I was on Jeff and Jer in the 90s, we get a phone call from a father, single father, that said, hey, I just lost my job. I don't want any handouts, but I just need a job interview. He did construction. So someone called and said, hey, we got him a job interview.
Wow.
Minutes later.
Yeah.
And he coincidentally lived in Kearny Mesa near the radio station. So when he left to the interview, I said, I'm going to go to that Kmart at the time. And I bought a Christmas tree, some Barbie dolls. He had 2 little girls. just a bunch of food and toys, and then a bicycle. And I went to the guy's house. At that time, I could fit through the window. And I jumped. I
did breaking and entering, literally.
So I literally
got there. That was your story. It's a radio bit.
I remember, and I went in and I set up Christmas and I left.
And that was it.
That was the birth of Breaking and Entering Christmas.
Because listen, there's stations all over the country doing it.
And now it's much different. Now you know
Now he has
someone's.
to use a sliding glass.
And he
door.
gets a commission. He gets 10% of all the toys
right,
you
that's
buy.
funny.
Yeah, I would love to know. But the truth is, now it's like, he finds a way to take care of someone's rent for the entire year.
Oh, yeah, it's
or
magic.
finds them an apartment to live in. Or, maybe, last year we helped a family who had just lost their father, and it was a big family, lots of kids. I mean, each kid had 20 gifts for Christmas under the tree.
And the
that
lineup
year.
of people that helping in cars was so big, we got lost. We took a wrong turn, remember?
That's right.
We had to go around.
You were Buddy the Elf.
Yeah, Buddy the Elf.
We had
showed
a
up at the
drone
house.
get lost. We had a drone go up to try to catch the line of cars of people that wanted to help this family.
Yeah.
The drone went so far, the guy lost contact with the drone, had to start walking down the street because that is literally how many people showed up.
It's incredible.
To help. Yeah.
Can we come? Can we come? Can we come play?
You can come, not only that, but-
we'll play. We'll make a big party out of it. You guys want to go to break?
We were in a cul-de-sac last year.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Something like that.
We'll
Yeah.
donate the band to that if you want to do. Want to make a
anything
party
helps.
out of it?
And that's it.
They'd like to audition for that gig right now.
Wednesday, December 8th.
Right.
Star.
All right. I'm going to bring out next break one of my favorite people in the world who started a really great organization, Challenged Athletes Foundation, Bob Babbitt. He's coming on. Hey, Bob. Everybody knows Bob.
The Sully Band, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't even need to be up there.
Stan Sully is what they call the band now.
When we did a show at the Belly Up,
Yeah.
which turned out to be a birthday thing, and on the break, on the intermission, had a packed house, like 600 people there.
That's great.
Came out, and James East, our bass player, played with Eric Clapton, played with Lionel Richie, 3 Grammys, 4 Tonys, a restraining order, and an expired Costco card.
There's the
Oh, look at the Costco card.
Good stats.
He's got the Costco card. He says, you're not coming on stage, you're going to go to the front of the stage. So I go to the front of the stage, and I look up there, and there's another keyboard player up there and a different drummer. Steve Ferroni from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers for the last 25 years, the guy who started the Average White Band on drums.
Yeah.
And Greg Fillinganes, who's Michael Jackson's music director and the guy who played keys for Stevie Wonder on Songs of the Key of Life, sitting up in front. 2 friends up there and played all of those songs.
Wow.
It was I don't know if you have footage of that. It was fantastic.
And you didn't have to work all night?
I said, this is the easiest gig I got.
Yeah.
Like the whole second set, I only had to play like 10 more minutes.
He stood around looking awkward for a few minutes because what do you do when you're on stage?
So James is our music director. He's a fantastic job. He's put
wait.
a feature together for us today. So bust it up. Huh?
Wait. Happy birthday, James.
Oh, that's right, James. James.
Oh,
Right, it's James' birthday 2 days ago.
And so you think you could dance? So you think you could dance?
Yeah, you see?
You think you could dance? So
You think she can dance?
Oh, he did this for you. Oh, I see.
Yes, this is Sully and the soldiers with Nacho and the band. Cause what we say, you is an empress, you was around the rest, man. And not the place, man, you bring us happiness, man. You see the smile on your face, man, the girl, man. Come down in the place, let me see you dance, man. Big and me say big and heavy, man. Big and heavy, come me say big and heavy. A deep rock and lips and a nice waist. And that me notice the girl them having on the place. But kiss the chicken, but me know what she say. The other full of shit, man, she run like when she. A price in the back of them, natural look, yes, so natural take a one and look, and when them look, so get up there. When this what them is here, lick and laps. Me take a one and look, and we want so rich. Me look up in the face and I show me the shower. We work it out, and me every time back, me shit back one, and something I'm every time. Shut you head back one, and put on me more. Get a piece of shit and back. Am I good at this? Should I carry? I am man in the crowd about 91 is a hot in the Just show me give it a beat now. Hey, give it a beat now.
Yeah.
Crazy into, I feel like busting loose. Come on.
Yeah.
Nacho Sobers all the way from the island of Lemon Grove.
Beautiful.
More fire.
Nacho has been with us 10, 15 years.
For a minute.
Remember, you shaved off your dreads last year.
All of it, too.
What was the deal with that?
I said,
You used like the Sully Band caps. You thought it'd look better.
better.
Fit
you know?
better.
It'll fit
He
out
does
better.
though have the dread wig thing
Yeah.
that he puts on halfway through the show, tosses it out.
Flings it.
Scare everybody.
Well, don't forget, you'll see him tomorrow at Monarch with me at 3:30. I was looking at your feet, and I don't know what dance
That's just
that was.
weird. I'm just saying. That's weird. I'm just saying.
Watch it.
Well, she's got the sparkles all over.
I was looking at the other stuff.
Oh, the
but
Julia
not-
Roberts side. I got you. I was looking at the feet, and they're moving like I don't know what dance. It's some samba. What was that called? Is that
Samba.
Thank you very much. I can't do that one.
All right, that's all you got. Hey, we have another guest.
Yes, we do.
Right.
He's a saint. He's a legend. He's an icon. He's the co-founder of the Challenge Athletes Foundation. He is our friend, Mr. Bob Babbitt.
That's right, Babbitt.
Uh-oh.
There he is.
Yo, yo, yo! Oh my God!
Right in there.
Did Sully fit you with this?
Yes.
I used to
I know
wear
you're tailor. I know you did. This
It's
is
a
when you
hot
were-
suit, which I bought for you, my friend, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
For that
I
gig.
You just take the whole jacket off and just sloped over the
it's
chair.
terrible. I'm going to take the whole darn thing off.
Just come-
Get up, Bob. Bob. Hey, ho, you like my feet? I'm a weird guy.
I want to say this about Bob Babbitt. Bob, I talk to a lot of people over at KUSI, and every time we have a challenge athlete, on our show, they say great things about you. And when I meet anyone from Paul Rudy to Burt Grossman to Sully, nobody has anything bad to say about you. You're like a saint, and I truly mean that. So God bless you for all that.
Because
you
I have
do.
a lot of bad things to say about a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
I owe
You're
a lot
saying-
of people money, and that way,
That's not accurate.
if they want to say nice
That is
things,
not
so
accurate.
eventually they'll get paid.
I
You're a
will
good
tell you,
man.
ChallengeAthletes.org, okay? Challenge Athletes Foundation. Changed my life. 11 years ago, I think I got involved with you guys.
We forced you to ride a bike.
Well, yeah, and I was a taco shy. I was a taco shy of like 300, 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh no!
Wheel
It was
coming out of
I was
each
like,
side
one
of
more
Bob.
burrito, I would have been there. And
4 bills, baby. He
yeah, I was
4.
378.
Down here.
We knew each other then. Yeah, it was way back when.
I thought that was Nick Hardwick that
He was-
shrunk down.
We both
wearing
did.
this stuff.
We did in
Shrunk
tandem.
down?
We did. So
Wow.
what's interesting?
Where Rusty got the suit, by the way.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. Hand me down.
But I was on air, and two of my friends were doing this crazy thing where they ride their bicycle from San Francisco to San Diego in 7 days, 700 miles in 7 days ish, something like that. And it was Dean Roper, who's now the ride chairman of the $1 Million Challenge. We'll talk about in a minute. And it was Jeff Anthony, who's the ride doctor.
Yeah.
Two good friends of mine. Got him on the air. Russ and I talked to him, and I go, "What are you doing?" And then Jeff, of course, is my doctor also. He says, okay, you're 40 years old, whatever I was at the time. He says, you have the body of an 86-year-old. We need to get you out here on the bike. So I got a spin class, and these guys talked me into doing this ride. And this year will be my 11th year
Wow.
doing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Challenge Athlete. So 700 miles in 7 days. Wow. Raising money for CAF.
How much have you guys raised? Come on now. You're 50K sponsor this year.
Well, yeah, so we're presenting sponsor this year, but all together over the between Russ and I and our National Big Biz show, I think it's close to $350,000 in
cool is that?
cash.
You include the price of your 2 new knees.
Yeah. This will be the first year. I've got new knees. But what I'm trying to get to is this: is that every person in my life in business, people know me in this town as a business guy. Every business transaction, every partnership I have, has come from CAF.
Yeah.
And that's the secret about the type of people that are involved in this thing. Is that, and then the other piece of it, of course, is that some of my best friends have. I got 2 guys together, total of 3 legs, 4 fingers, and they're really great guys. But honestly, God, James Osborne, Creighton Wong together, 2 of my good friends. I got 2 guys, 3 arms, 2 legs.
You got to do it.
It's like you're all, but the point is that you You made this an unbelievable experience for everybody.
Well, thanks for tuning in. That's all the time we have
No.
for you.
Wait, well, I like it. That'd be great.
You know how to dance the samba? Because
So let's talk about
Bob Babbitt.
coming up.
You got it,
Bob Babbitt after the
It's
break.
Babbittville, by the way. What? Next to Adam Carolla, he's like #2 podcaster in the world. Did you know that? No, the guy's amazing.
pants.
He put the burritos right here.
Sully Band and the Bob Babbitt Singers here today. Thank you.
Yo, yo, yo.
That's right, Bob Babbitt. Of course, we just noticed dancing that he, from the back, looks just like Don Knotts.
Hey, everybody.
Anybody's ever said
Not
that?
Goober, not Gomer.
No, that was it.
Hey,
Barney.
tell the story about Jim McLaren, how CAF started.
So Jim McLaren was a friend of ours, football player at Yale back in 1985. He's a 300-pound guy, offensive lineman, and he was taking acting classes in New York during the summer. And he was on his motorcycle, got hit by a New York City bus, thrown 90 feet in the air, dead on arrival. Ended up living, but he lost his lower left leg below the knee. Came back from that to run a 3:16 marathon with a walking leg, right? Not like what you see now, carbon fiber and all that stuff. Then I met him, I had Competitor Magazine, and I met him over in Hawaii when he was doing the Ironman Triathlon World Championship, where he went 10 hours and 42 minutes, which was like top 20% of everybody in the race.
Wow.
So at that point, he's traveling the world. Everybody knows who he is. He's the Babe Ruth of amputee athletes. Sure. And 8 years later, he's doing a race up in Mission Viejo. A van goes through a closed intersection, hits the back of his bike, propels him headfirst into a pole, becomes a quadriplegic.
Second
Already
time.
amputee. Already an amputee.
He gets
Becomes
hit
a quad.
twice.
Not.
So at that point, Jeffrey Esikow, a good friend of mine and Sully's, and Rick Kozlowski got together because we knew triathlon and we knew that our community would want to support Jimmy. So we decided we'd put on a little triathlon at La Jolla Cove, and the goal was to raise $25K to buy Jimmy a van with hand controls to give him independence, because that's the one thing you lose. All of a sudden, when I've interviewed paraplegic athletes before, it was, what's the worst part? It was, I'm 30 years old, here come mom and dad back in my life, no sense of self or independence. So that was our goal. We raised 49, a little triathlon at La Jolla Cove. We thought our job was done. Going to get Jimmy the van, and 3 amputee women came up to us who had participated in the event. They said, Jimmy's our hero. He got us into all this. Did you know if you get injured, your health insurance will cover a walking around leg or an everyday wheelchair, but nothing to do with sport is covered because insurance companies consider sport a luxury item.
To this day.
To this day.
Same thing.
So that's when we got our
limb.
501(c) and decided if someone needed a piece of equipment, training, or travel to stay in the game of life through sport, that CF would be there. Now it's been 28 years. We've raised $134 million. Whew. We've sent out over 35,000 grants to athletes in 73 countries and in 105 different sports. Equipment, training, travel, 105 different sports. Who knew there are 105 different sports? It's crazy. You play them all.
Well, yeah,
But
absolutely.
besides
Well,
that,
104. I'm working on the last.
And you know all the athletes. Like if I say the name Lauren Parker, who's Lauren Parker?
Lauren Parker was on stage with us in Kona in 2015. She finished second as an able-bodied athlete in the Ironman World Championship, 25, 29-year-old age division. And she went pro in 2016. And then in 2017, training for her first Ironman as a pro, Ironman Australia, April 17th, 2017, on her bike, both tires flat, goes into a guardrail, paralyzed from the waist down.
Wow. My God.
Called her and had her on the radio show in July, 3 months later, and said, Lauren, what do you want to do? She says, I want to get back into sport.
Yeah.
So I said, that starts by being at our San Diego Triathlon Challenge.
Yeah.
You need to come here and meet Carlos Maleta and David Bailey. And she checked herself out of rehab, and we flew her out here. And she tells me to this day, the rehab doctor came up to her and said, you need to understand you will never be an athlete again. Your life as an athlete is over. We brought her to San Diego, and she realized that she could be an athlete again. At our Celebration of Abilities dinner, I told her story and told everybody in the room, 700 people, Lauren Parker needs our help and support right now. Immediate standing ovation. Everybody stood up and applauded. Within a year of her injury, she took a bronze at the Commonwealth Games in paratriathlon. A year later, in 2019, she won the World Championship, and she went to Tokyo and got a silver medal in a sprint finish in the paratriathlon just recently in the
And missed the gold by
less than a second.
But the other thing too is you see these runners out there with these running blades.
Yes.
Okay. Those are 30 grand a piece at some point.
15,000, but for double, it's 30. Yeah.
Or you see these hand cycles and stuff, which is what we're raising money for.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, at one of the events, did we see a below-the-knee amputee dancer? Didn't we?
We've got wheelchair dancers.
We have wheelchair dancers.
Yes, we do.
Part of Challenge Athletes Foundation funds.
Yes, we do.
Those chairs and stuff.
Yes, it is.
So do you become the first phone call then for many families that are trying to just find hope and some motivation for someone in their life that's gone through this?
That's exactly what. So we work with all the rehab centers around the country and all the hospitals, and when people come in, we want that first call to be to CAF saying, okay, in fact. When I was over in Slovakia for a triathlon last month, and I had a guy from the UK come up and go, we just had one of our athletes who crashed badly on a bike, and we don't know if he's going to be a quadriplegic or a paraplegic. And I'm like, he's part of our family. Let's see how we can help. So I've been in touch with his wife ever since, and they're doing a Zwift ride as a fundraiser. And then I told her, as soon as we find out because the quicker you can get people in the sport, you avoid that spiraling depression. Right? What's the next chapter of my life?
100%.
And we want to help write that.
Well, and Bob, of course, in Operation Rebound. Okay, so it's called Frontline to Finish Line. When one of our military men and women serving our country overseas, underway, anywhere else, loses a limb or becomes injured, when they wake up, oftentimes Nico Marco Longo and an athlete who's been there before is there next to the bedside.
Great story. Eric McIlvaney stepped on an IED in Afghanistan in 2011, November of 2011, and lost his leg below the knee. And his commander came in to see him. Now, a different commander came in to see him, who was an amputee himself, and Eric didn't realize that. And he goes to Eric, I got my prosthetic in 3 months. How quickly are you going to get years? 2.5 months later, Eric's got his prosthetic on. In the spring of that year, he did a sprint triathlon. In the fall, he did a half Ironman, and then he ended up the year later doing the Ironman with his hero, Hines Ward from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He ended up on the Chocolate Milk Become One team, and he was on the team, beat Hines by an hour, by the way, at the Ironman World Championship, and then he was just in the Paralympics in the paratriathlon where he took 6th place.
But I imagine what would happen if CAF didn't come along, because we had walking legs before, and now they've got cycling legs. They've got running legs. You know, for some of our female athletes, we've got walking legs that have high heels on them now. I mean, all kinds. Now, I know it's not just about accidents and not just about birth defects. Oftentimes, it's about cancer. I know, Mary, you have an organization near and dear to your heart. When we come back, we're going to talk about dances for cancer. Is that what you said?
Dances for cancer. That sounds like an East Coast organization.
And I want to kind of intersect the two so we can raise some more.
And Jesse did something pretty cool too for his school. We're going to find out about that too.
Oh, you do charity?
I do charity too. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sully Band.
How sweet it is to be loved by you, loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, oh, oh. I needed the shelter of someone. If you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and my downs. There you were, yeah. With sweet love and devotion, yeah. Baby, touch my emotion, yeah. I won't stop and thank you, baby. I just won't stop and thank you, baby. Yes, I do. How sweet it is to be loved by you, loved by you, yeah. To be loved by you. Chip Sprague on the saxophone. was for myself. Me, there's you, and there ain't nobody else. Stop and thank you, baby. I just want to stop. And thank you, baby. Yes, I do. How sweet it is to be loved by you, loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. All right, let's bring it on down. I said, oh, 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 loved by you, yeah. I said, oh, 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 to be loved by you. I said, oh, 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 loved by you, yeah, loved by you, baby. I said, oh, 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 well, I just gotta stop and thank you, baby, yeah, now. And the thing's so strong and the feeling's so right. Gotta thank you, baby, baby. It's a love thing, it's a love thing, it's a love thing, it's a love thing. Gotta stop and thank you, baby. I say, well now, 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 baby, to be loved by you. It's like a honey to the bee, babe, sugar to the sugar cane, jelly to the donut, like a wolf to a lucky bear. I know. To be loved, to be truly, truly loved, to be loved, to be loved, to be truly, truly loved, to be loved, to be loved, to be truly, truly loved, to be loved, to be loved, to be truly, truly loved, to be loved, to be loved. All right, all right. Sing it one more time, yeah. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Sugar sometime. How sweet it is to be loved by you, loved by you. How sweet it is. Well, it feels just about right. Ooh, feels just about right tonight. Right here in the Loft 100 studios and on the air with Sully, Little Tommy, and Rusty Nailz and the whole crew right here on KUSI. To be loved by, to be loved by, to be loved by you.
Yeah.
See? What are you guys clapping for?
Sully
You guys,
Band.
you guys were clapping for you.
That was for you, Bobby.
God, so I want to do this show all over again. Like I don't have the same group come back in again several times.
Same vibe.
Hey, I got to get this in real quick, Bob Babbitt. The reason I bought the suit is to do a gig with him at a big dinner, like he's saying, 700-800 people.
Yep.
I was a congressman from Rhode Island, and I just found the sport of jogging, and I jogged out here from Rhode Island 2 weeks ago. This fit me, is what I said.
Thank you, everybody.
Big laugh,
Thanks.
and then we moved on. Okay, it's cleared up now.
All right.
Oh, so that's why you wore the suit.
Yes, Barney.
All right.
Thank you.
Don
Thank you,
Knotts.
Goober.
Turn around. Don Knotts, everybody, right there.
Right
Hold
there.
on.
Real quick.
Mary, talk about Dancers for. Is it called Dancers for Cancer?
Well, it's the Industry Dance Awards for dancers.
Okay.
And inside of that, they raise money for cancer every year, and it's going to be virtual this year, and it'll be October 23rd.
All right.
And so we raise money for one of the organizations. It's called Dancers Against Cancer.
Let's make sure we put that up on the screen. Let's make sure that we help raise money for that.
Oh, yeah?
And on October 23rd, wherever that week is, you need to come back. Okay,
That's right.
good,
It's
good.
an international. It'll be everywhere, all over the world. Dancers will gather to raise a lot of money.
Fantastic.
Better learn to salsa.
And then Jesse, Warner Springs High School?
Warner Springs High School.
What did you do?
We just, so I run a charity called One More Win, where we help high school athletics in San Diego
right.
with resources. You know, we identify the teams that have to play against the schools that have all the money and the uniforms and the logoed vans, and they show up to town with absolutely nothing.
So you basically outfit the one that's playing Cobra Kai.
That's correct.
Right?
We even the playing field.
Remember Cobra Kai?
Absolutely.
They had all the good things and the stuff
Everything.
and the thing.
Yes, we provide the Mr.
Ralph had
Miyagi
nothing.
gi to these schools that need the help. But, you know, the truth of the matter is we get an email that nominates a school. We got an email from a coach in Warner Springs High School. He said, hey, I got kids out here, middle of the desert. We haven't had new uniforms in 25 years. We're, you know, we're holding them together with shoestrings. We have terrible shoulder pads. These kids don't even feel safe. So we raised some money, and we went out there, bought almost $10,000 worth of equipment for the kids. We
Very
did brand new
cool.
shoulder pads for the whole team, home and away jerseys, and then we bought them a 5-man sled to get out there and beat some butts on the practice field.
Well,
with.
Jesse, I don't need to tell you this. It's in the desert. They don't use
How many
sleds.
sleds out there? Good move.
Just
and maybe
saying.
the only
Well,
one
safety
there,
tip.
actually.
Mountain Empire might call next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Sand
Sand
sledding.
sledding. But all you need to do, actually, onemorewin.org, you can spell that any way you want. Nominate your team. If you're watching right now, if you're a coach, if you're a parent of a student where they struggle with the fundraising when it comes to their sport, high school only, we want to know all about them. Nominate your team, and we pick three winners a year.
Onemorewin.org. One more win. Okay, we'll put it up there on the screen for you.
Cool.
Thank you, buddy.
Babbitt, we got a big ride coming up here in about 3 weeks, Bill.
Yes, we do.
San
$1
Francisco
million
to San
challenge,
Diego?
sold out, 130 riders, and 3 days sold out. And then we got that whole community challenge weekend, San Diego Triathlon Challenge, 28th annual.
Holy moly.
Great.
You guys are awesome. Thank you
Wait,
so much.
Mary, where's your dance studio?
Yeah.
Champion Ballroom Academy, San Diego, 4255 Ruffin Road. October 16th,
Ballroom
Monster Bash.
Academy.
I'm going to learn the song.
Whatever. You got it.
Woodwinds.